Maybe you like to play Overwatch 2, and you like to play as Genji, but sometimes toxicity and these pesky nerfs make it not so fun. Introducing Roboquest. This is an awesome game that just got a free new update where you can play as RECON and get the same satisfaction that Genji gives you. Like to use shurikens? Well, we got shurikens. You can pick them up as one of the new weapons in the update. They're quick and they're powerful. Maybe you really like Genji's dash. The RECON class gives you a similar dash, but this one stuns, and it gives you a knife for close encounters. If you like Genji's ultimate, you'll like the RECON cutlass as well. You can upgrade the knife to become a cutlass, which slashes quick and slashes hard. So if you like Genji, but you're tired of playing Overwatch, maybe stick around and watch the rest of this video. So we actually didn't find the shurikens right off the bat, but they'll come pretty quick. So here we can see the dash. It does stun the enemies that are pretty close to it, and it's really useful, especially because your knife does so much damage. It's just perfect for closing the gap and getting the damage in. If you haven't played this game before, this is like a little challenge room. They get harder as you get further into the game, but usually there's some kind of parkour section, and then there's a chest that gives you some kind of option. If you don't know, this game is a roguelike. That means every single run, you start from the beginning, and when you die, you lose everything. Now, the cool thing about these games is there's always a lot of variety, especially in your builds. So sometimes, as you can see, there's different upgrades to choose from, and you can really change it up every single time you play. That's why I really love this game. I love roguelikes in general, and this one is cool because it's a FPS. That's kind of rare for roguelikes. So as you see, I got the cutlass, which makes my knife go a lot faster and do more damage. And here, the shuriken. I don't know if that's plural or not already. Shurikens? Shuriken? I think it's already plural. 3 shuriken. Anyway, yeah, it's great about this game is you can upgrade your weapons. I feel like whenever I played this a long time ago, they didn't have all these guys, or maybe I hadn't unlocked them yet, but whenever you had a weapon, you were kind of just stuck with the rarity, and you could upgrade it a little bit, but not much. But now, you can upgrade the rarity, you can add different kind of affixes to it, for example, faster reload, or more armor. It's really cool. That's a perfume. That's what they call it on the weapon. But yeah, now the shurikens are out, and starting to feel a lot more like Genji. That robot guy on the rail just gives you a lot more XP, so it's usually in your best interest to try to get it, especially if you want to get, you know, a better score, which means more options from your power cells. But I missed it, and life goes on. And there's the first stage done. Every single time you play this game, the first stage is always canyons, but you have 3 choices to go from after that. I chose to go to the quarry. I think it's the last one you unlock in this branch, but I have some kind of secrets that I haven't unlocked yet on here, and I'm just trying to figure out, you know, where they are. And every single time you get to a new place, you have a little kind of like a warm-up or a waiting room that gives you options to upgrade, gives you health. So if you're having a hard time in this game, don't worry. There's like checkpoints that you can go to that you can't spawn there again, but at least it gives you a breather, gives you a little bit more of an opportunity to succeed. you got to be really careful in this game. Sometimes enemies will just sneak up on you, and this enemy does a lot of damage. You know, it's like a flamethrower. So always be looking at your mini-map. Hard to do a lot of things at once. This game requires a lot of cognitive effort from you, but eventually you kind of get used to it. Another great thing is you can jump on an opponent's head and do a lot of damage to them. It impacts them, which means they're kind of like stunned for a second. So if you're kind of out of options, you need to reload, or there's just someone asking to be stomped on, go ahead and head bonk them. And here we get an upgrade, and I've already chosen an upgrade before. This is my second one. So I actually chose the level 2 upgrade for the cutlass, or the knife becoming the sword. You can choose different types of upgrades, but usually there's like a path that you can go along that improves the previous upgrades you already got. Sometimes I get a little too excited, a little too aggressive, but in this game, there's a place for aggressiveness, but usually you kind of want to sit back and pick off, you know, some guys before you go in. I would not recommend playing so aggressive if you're new to this game. Like me, I'm still pretty new and I still have a lot to learn. The great thing about the dagger or the cutlass, now that it's upgraded, is whenever you kill an enemy with it, you get a little bit more health back. So it's kind of like the risk of going in close and the reward of getting more health is something you can consider now. So unlike the other levels in this game, or sections of the levels, this is an arena room, which means there's a red bar at the top that shows like the enemies that are left. You have to destroy all of them. In the other parts of the game, you're just trying to get to the door. So if you choose to get all the enemies and you get, like, you know, bonuses from that, whether it be XP or, you know, weapons that drop, in this room, there's no choice. You have to go through them all. Alright, we made it through the room. Kind of got dicey in there, but as I avoided damage and started killing with the cutlass more, I got some health back, so that was nice. These laser turrets are not great for me right now. I don't do a good job of dodging them. That's how the game goes. So this is the room right before the boss fight. There's always a health bot here. Sometimes you can upgrade your weapon. Sometimes these little guys aren't here. But here we go. I definitely am not doing a great job approaching this boss. You really want to give it a little more space than I'm giving it, especially whenever it does those attacks where they send a whole bunch of projectiles at once. But I'm just trying to get in there and get critical shots on the eyes. Unfortunately, I'm not doing a great job. You know, the cutlass isn't great against bosses unless you have your charge meter filled up, which is those blue dots at the bottom. after you do a couple blinks or the teleports, those fill up. And whenever you do the next slash when it's full with your weapon, then it's like a major boost of damage. But this boss, I think there's a lot of things to learn from this run. Here I was just over aggressive. I probably should have gotten the second weapon that I also used, but I just really wanted to get the Genji run going. So in the future, it's good to rely on more than just one weapon. You know, sometimes you have one weapon to go against bosses, or one weapon to, you know, clear out rooms, or maybe one close range, one long range. Regardless, there's definitely better ways to play. In fact, I think a great build would be shurikens, and then your secondary would be a bow, because from a distance, the bow great against bosses. You can crit them, and the shurikens are great at close. You can kind of be like Genji and Hanzo at the same time. So here, this is a different run. I'm using the Mantis crossbow, which is a normal crossbow, but it's like a repeating crossbow. So you do have to reload eventually, but I thought I'd show you another run just so you can see past the boss a little bit. So as you can see, in some situations, the shuriken maybe aren't as great of a choice as their longer range weapon. This game has a lot of complexity, a lot of variety, so you can really make any run work, but maybe over relying on something is not your best bet. This is now after the quarry, the Aqua Station. There's actually quite a lot of levels to this before you get to ending the main boss. I saw a hornet bow here. I love the bow, and I thought, why not give it a shot? Though, again, this is not a great gun or weapon to use with my crossbow. They do kind of the same thing already. So I'm going to keep looking for, a different secondary to use. As you can see, with my teleport, or blink as they call it, I got an upgrade that gives me fire damage every time I use it. So even if I'm using the same, character, even the same weapons, there's still a lot of variety to this game with these upgrades. Even these weapons, you can get the same crossbow twice in a row, but one might have a secondary shotgun use where you can, press your right trigger and shoot a spray of bullets. Or maybe one gives you a boost in the air. Maybe one gives you an opportunity to give critical damage, like a sonar ping. There's lots of different opportunities to change the weapons up, and you can even be you can kind of be aggressive going after the build you want. So if you know exactly what you want, in the shops you can look for the certain affixes that you want. You can re-roll, you can upgrade the weapon that you want. You can do a lot of cool things. So this game has so much replayability. I think it's honestly so fun. Like I said, I'm looking for another secondary, and here we find another shuriken. So we leave the bow because we haven't really been using it, and I kind of wanted to try out the mantis bow. I haven't used it much, so now I can kind of switch between the two. You know, here we have an opportunity to deal with the little targets that are kind of close together with the shuriken, and then the bow can take out these bigger threats from further away. So this chest gives us a couple weapons, a couple of, you know, perks to choose from. I end up going with power cells. That's like the currency that you use in the run. You get it in the run and you use it in the run. You know, it's not for your base or anything. And I was just thinking, like, what would be the most useful? This guy can upgrade my quality, right? It goes from green to blue, from like uncommon to superior. So I thought, let's use power cells, let's upgrade it, make it even better. So this isn't the first time I've gone through the Aqua Station, but that door has always been locked to me. Early in this run, or maybe the run before, I picked up a key to open this door. So this is the first time going through here. And that's what's cool about this game too, is even though you're going to the same place at the very end, the path to get there varies widely. You can go, you know, in a more direct line, only like 4 or 5 spots, or you can go through like 9 different biomes. It's really cool. I obviously have a lot to improve on in this game, you know, choosing what weapon to use and when, using my abilities more and using them better. You know, this is just the learning process, but I'm having a lot of fun in this game. I think it's really well made. I love the art style. I love the enemy variety types. Sometimes the enemies are frustrating, but what fun would it be if it was too easy, you know? See here, an enemy chained me, kind of restricting my movement, and I rely a lot on my mobility in this run, and got the best of me. So I got a little further this time, but that's how it goes. Thanks for watching. I hope you had a good time. I'm looking forward to uploading more of these videos, and I'll see you in the next one.